You click, you search, you browse every single day. But have you ever really stopped to think about what's going on behind the scenes? That invisible journey that happens in the blink of an eye between your click and a page loading? Well, today, we're going to pull back the curtain and decode that magic. Just think about it for a second. The last website you went to, you typed in the address, hit enter, and poof, there it was. But what really happened in that little gap? I mean, how did your computer grab that page from a server that could be halfway across the world? Well, the answer is way simpler than you'd probably guess. And honestly, it's the key to, well, everything we're going to talk about. See, at its heart, the entire web, all of it, runs on one simple thing, a conversation. Just a conversation between two computers. So let's break this whole journey down into 4 really simple steps. First, you type in an address. Then, number 2, your browser asks for the page. We call that the request. Third, the website answers. That's the response. And finally, boom, you see the page on your screen. It's that simple. So let's start with that first crucial part, the request. All right, let's dive into the first half of this conversation. Like any good chat, somebody has to speak first. And on the web, it's always your browser. It's the one that kicks things off. Okay, so this is what that request actually looks like. And you can see it's not just some vague, hey, give me the page. No. Every single part of this message is super important. It starts with get/hello, which tells the server exactly what it wants. Then it specifies the host, so the message doesn't get lost in the mail. It even introduces itself with the user agent. It's like, hey, I'm using Chrome. And finally, it tells the server what kind of file it can accept, in this case, a standard HTML web page. So if you translate all that tech speak into plain English, this is basically what your browser is saying. It's polite, it's super specific, and it gives the server everything it needs to know to get the job done right. Okay, so our browser has sent its polite request. Now it's the server's turn to talk. Let's see how it answers back. The website's computer, the server, got the message, and now it's time to reply. And no surprise here, the server's response is just as organized. It kicks off with a status code. Now, I'm sure you've seen the dreaded 404 not found error, right? Well, 200 OK is the good news. It's the universal code for success. Got it. Then it confirms the content type, tells your browser the content length so it knows how big the file is, and finally, in the body, you get the good stuff, the actual HTML code for the page. And just like before, if we translate that into something a human would say, it's pretty much this. It's a clear, you got it, and then it hands over the raw code that your browser is about to turn into the web page you see. When you put them side by side like this, you can really see how elegant this whole thing is. It's a perfect back and forth. The browser asks to get something. The server says 200 OK, here you go. The browser says what it can accept. The server delivers exactly that content type. See? Every single part of the request gets a direct answer. It's this simple, efficient little dialogue that makes the whole web tick. Okay, but here's the part that's kind of mind-blowing. This conversation, it doesn't just happen once when you load a page. It happens for every single thing on that page. The main HTML file, that's one conversation. Every single image on the page, that's another one. The fonts, the scripts, each one is its own little lightning-fast request and response. So, what's the big picture here? What are the key things to remember? First, the whole web is built on this conversation called HTTP. Second, your browser, the client, always starts the chat with a request. Third, the website's computer, the server, always answers with a response. And that simple cycle, that constant back and forth, is the engine that powers literally everything you do online. So seeing this laid out on slides is one thing, right? But what if you could actually listen in on one of these conversations yourself? Well, you totally can. Most computers have a tool built right in called curl. If you open up a terminal or a command prompt and type in the command you see on the screen, you're not going to see a pretty web page. Nope. What you will see is the raw text of this exact conversation we've been talking about. It's an awesome way to peek behind the curtain and see it all happen for real. And that leaves us with one last kind of wild thought. We've just walked through the simple conversation for one basic web page. Now, think about your social media feed. Hundreds of posts, pictures, videos, comments, all loading in real time. Every single one of those things is its own separate conversation, all happening practically at the same time. It's the same simple request and response dance, just scaled up to a level that is honestly just mind-boggling. So next time you're scrolling, just remember the millions of tiny conversations happening behind the scenes, just for you.